Oregon hasn't had a number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft since, I believe, 1955. This guy is projected to go number 1 overall. That could be Oregon's first overall draft pick since 1955. I'm Nathan Johnston alongside my co-host Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Big pickup, and I mean literally big pickup. 6'8", 309 pounds for Isaiah World, and man, is he a world of trouble for any defense playing against this offense. Brad, initial take on this guy, and what does he add to this Oregon offense? I know we're going to get into a lot here, but what are your initial takes on Isaiah World?
What an all-world pickup for Oregon. I mean, this is huge. I mean, look, Oregon lost some talent last year with both of their tackles in Cornelius and Josh Cornely, moving on. And then they go get this guy. It's just one of those things. If you're Oregon, you have the benefit of that Nike money and NIL, but it's one of those things where they're not to the point where they're rebuilding now. They're kind of reloading. And Nate, this is a guy that unbelievable size. You mentioned that, but the 35 straight starts for Nevada. He played 852 snaps last year. That's so valuable. Nate, this has been a kind of a recurring theme this for these episodes we're doing, and I'm here for it. He plays at a program like Nevada, and now he's going to Oregon. It's better facilities, it's better coaching, it's better nutrition programs, it's a better weight room, better strength and conditioning staff. All these things just to continue to up this guy. And look, this guy, I would imagine he's going to be definitely a first-round pick next year. This is huge. Oregon's breaking in a new quarterback in Dante Moore, who's got some sky-high expectations. But, Nate, a team that we talked about earlier, Tulane, Makai Hughes comes over into that running back room. He gets to run behind this guy. This guy's going to create some massive holes. But, look, Oregon moving to the Big Ten last year, I think Dan Lanning learned that, okay, we've got to play a little bit more in the trenches than we did in the Pac-12,
sure.
And this guy fits that perfectly.
Yeah, Brad, the biggest thing that stands out to me, and you kind of hit on it, Dante Moore coming in at quarterback, and I don't want to get into a season preview, but he's going to have to step up because this offensive tackle and Isaiah World can play lights out. But if Dante Moore doesn't know how to move around in the pocket, it could make Isaiah and the rest of the offensive line look really stupid. That's it's a big thing that people don't think about. When you've got a young quarterback who's just he's got the happy feet, right? He's like in and out of the pocket. I think of a guy like Michael Vick. I knew a coach that helped coach me at high school. He played in the NFL. He played with Mike Vick for the Falcons. And he said, you're blocking, Mike Vick takes off running 10 yards down the field, plays over. No. He comes running back the other way. Next thing you know, you got to throw a block for him. Curious to see how he fits into this offense, both just as an offensive tackle, but also playing under a new quarterback in Dante Moore. Does Dante Moore have the discipline and the maturity to say, you know what, I trust these guys. I'm going to stand in the pocket. I'm going to make the throw. That's going to play a big part in it that I don't think a lot of people are looking at.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a fair point. Is that look? This is really this year. Dante Moore. I mean, this is his first starting experience. He's played a touch here and there, but I mean, this is going to be his first true snaps. Nate, something else that stands out. Oregon lost 3 offensive line starters last year.
Yeah,
I don't think people realize it takes some time to build some cohesiveness with your front. This guy next to me, he may need a little bit of help, picking up a rusher or something like that.
Sure.
But, playing with gelling and playing with some cohesiveness on that offensive line, it's critical. And this is once again a guy in Isaiah World. He's played a lot of snaps. He's seen a lot of football. But I will say, making that transition from the Mountain West to the Big Ten, and for that matter, just Oregon playing their non-conference schedule, he's about to see a step up in competition. I have no doubt what he brings out. Once again, I think he's going to be an All-American. I think he's going to be an All-Big Ten guy, but he's about to experience edge rushers and defensive linemen that are bigger, they're more physical, they're going to have more moves in their pocket, and he's going to have to adjust to that very, very quickly because Oregon's relying on him to keep that pocket clean for Dante Moore, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Brad, and I just want to mention as well, this guy had some pretty serious offers in the portal.
Yes.
Ohio State, Nebraska, A&M, eventually chooses Oregon. So it wasn't like this was just a one-off guy.
Right.
Just because of size, Oregon said, okay, let's go get this guy. No, this guy has the talent.
Yep.
He's got the athleticism. Oregon hasn't had, and I looked this up today, Brad. This is a fun fact for you Oregon fans if you don't already know. Oregon hasn't had a number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft since, I believe, 1955.
Wow.
This guy is projected to go number 1 overall. That could be Oregon's first overall draft pick since 1955. A lot of you say, well, what about this guy? What about that guy? I think the second highest was second overall in quarterback Marcus Mariota. Thank you.
And Nate, that's saying something. I mean, and more early, and look, mock drafts are going to change, but you think about, just some of the quarterbacks coming out next year and the fact that some places are putting this guy as the number 1 overall pick. That means that NFL journalists as well as NFL GM and head coaches, they covet this guy a lot. So I mean, the fact that he is already getting some thoughts of being the number 1 overall pick, that's a very, very big deal. He's got to stay healthy, and he's got to play like it. I have no doubt in my mind. I think Oregon is in for a big year, and this guy's going to be a big reason for that.
Yeah, and when you think about Oregon in the past with their offensive line, I think of Penei Sewell.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was 3rd overall, I believe, top 10.
Yeah, top 10
to the Lions, but this is a guy who could step right in and be that type of player.
Absolutely.
The physical edge, the leadership ability, the confidence. He's got 35 starts in college football. We know how important that is in today's era, especially in the portal. I think there's a guy playing, I forget where I saw it today. There's a guy that's 30 years old playing as a sophomore. Different story, but you get the point. Right. The maturity, the experience, the in-game experience. Biggest thing, too, as well is, Brad, we kind of touched on this, but not in depth. Talk about going on the road in some of these hostile environments. You're playing at Nevada. I don't care how good the competition is. Those stadiums are nothing compared
that's a very good
to hitting the road against some of these Big Ten competition.
Right. You think about, you mentioned just going to a Penn State, going to a Wisconsin, going to Ann Arbor at the Big House, it's going to be a different.
It's an adjustment.
It's going to be an adjustment. It's going to be a different environment for him for sure.
One thing's for certain though, this guy stays healthy. You said it yourself, over 680 snaps, 35 starts, potential first overall pick, if not top 10 pick. Mm-hmm. Going to be a huge year for Oregon and Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning, obviously coming up short last year against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. This is maybe the missing piece that they need on that offensive line to help bolster it and get a deep playoff run.
Absolutely.
Oregon fans out there, let us know down in the comments what you think about your new offensive tackle in Isaiah World. Boy, is he a world of trouble for defensive coaches out there and defensive lines. Really think he can help bolster your offensive line, can give Dante Moore the protection and the time that he needs to throw the ball and the physicality to run the ball as well. You mentioned it yourself. It's going to be a great year for Oregon. Excited to see what happens. Let us know down in the comments what you think about Isaiah and also your Oregon team heading in to the 2025 season. Be sure to subscribe down below for more Oregon content. Be sure to like this video, turn on that bell notification so you can stay up to date when we post our latest content. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.